So today I finally watched Primate, one of the more talked about horror releases of 2026 so far, and I've got a lot to say about this one.
What's your emergency? He's acting crazy. He killed all the others. Who killed the others?
Okay, so you've seen plenty of movies about a cute animal companion, but what happens when that best friends get a taste for blood? What if the creature that knows all of your secrets, the one that grew up in your home, suddenly wants to tear you apart? In this movie, the bond between a family and the sign-in chimp is shattered by a single rabid bite, unleashing a deeply personal kind of nightmare. This isn't just another animal attack movie, this is about a family member turning into a monster. So yes, today I'm doing a full movie review of the brand new 2026 horror movie called Primate. Now, Primate is a movie where we follow main character Lucy, who returns home to visit her family, which includes, a chimpanzee called Ben. After Ben is bitten by something, he ends up getting rabies, and Ben ends up losing his mind, turns on his entire family, and Lucy, her sister, her friends, they all have to try and survive the night while, Lucy's dad is away. Will they manage to get help, or will Ben rip them all apart? Now, most animal horrors rely on chaos, the running, the screaming, and there's usually blood and arms and limbs flying everywhere. Now, Primate goes in the opposite direction. The fear here is slow, personal, and psychological. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still moments of chaos, but something about this movie, something about it was just so different to other animal creature feature horrors. Ben isn't just dangerous, he's intelligent. He actually understands routines in the family's routine. He understands the tools in the house, and he understands people and the family members, and that makes him even more dangerous. You're not just watching certain characters being chased by an animal, you are watching them being outthought. Also, when the horror action begins, it feels so personal, very dramatic. Something that we learn now, guys, at the start of the film is that Lucy and her sister, they lost their mother to cancer. Now, their dad, who is a very, very successful author, communicates by sign language because he's deaf. Now, when we learn through the sign language just how much trauma that this family have already been through, this is what makes the moment of him becoming crazy through rabies a lot more heart-wrenching and personal. This isn't just some random creature or animal attacking them, it is a true member of their family who have already as a whole been through a massive trauma together. It's actually really, really sad when you think about it. The stakes just feel so much more higher. Another thing that I appreciated is that this film doesn't rush into the gore. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some very gnarly scenes in this movie, but they don't rush it. And when it does happen, it is shocking, it's ugly, it's blunt, it's to the point. There's no stylish cinematography, no flashy camera tricks, just raw force and the horrible realization that humans are completely outmatched. I think there's actually one particular death scene that's really, really stuck with me, and it was the one where one of Lucy's friends, or not so much friends, it's a guy that she meets or bumps into early on in the film. Now, he comes over to the house with his friend after receiving an invitation, not realizing what has been happening with Ben. Now, one of these guys, he chills out on the bed in the bedroom, and then, a crazy Ben appears and pins this guy down onto the bed and then pulls Ben's jaw out from his face. And it's not this fast scene. Ben takes his time stretching and breaking and ripping off this guy's jaw. It's freaking gruesome, but I thought it was absolutely an awesome kill scene. But it does also make you realize just how strong Ben is. If Ben gets his hands on you, you're not going to survive to tell this tale. Also, the setting in this movie is absolutely beautiful. You got open spaces, glass walls, stunning views, but that is the trick. The film turns this luxury house into vulnerability. Now, glass doesn't protect you, open plan means you have nowhere to hide. You're constantly aware that, visibility works both ways, and the movie plays with that brilliantly. You're always scanning the background, always checking the reflections, always, waiting for movement, and always waiting for something to happen, which really does keep you on the edge of your seat. Now, most of the main characters are stuck outside in the swimming pool for a lot of the runtime of this movie, and that's because, chimps don't like the water. They are safe for now. However, Lucy's sister, she's injured early on in the movie. I think Ben ends up biting her leg. So there is like this kind of time limit to Lucy's sister who's been injured, meaning that they can't just stay there and hope that help is going to come for them. There are moments where a character will get out of the swimming pool when they think Ben is somewhere else in the house, only for Ben to then reappear and cause absolute havoc on these people. So there is a massive sense of urgency throughout the movie, and there's actually quite a few claustrophobic scenes as well. There's a scene that involves being stuck under the sofa. There's another scene inside a car, which I think was in the trailer when I did the trailer reaction a little while back. And do you know what, guys? Those scenes were executed really, really well, in my opinion. You become so nervous, you start to unconsciously grab the end of the armchair without realizing what you're doing, and it's not often a movie can do that. Is this a perfect horror movie? No, of course it's not, but as far as creature features go, this is quite up there as being a very, very good, gnarly, dramatic horror movie with a great story. And also, I really enjoyed the horror score, the music score that they were using. It felt almost like 80s strings and synth, and it just had this awesome 80s feel to it, which was really ramped up during those intense moments. I mean, if a horror movie has a really good music score, then that's always a huge plus for me. There are a few jump scares scattered throughout this movie, which you would kind of expect, from a movie like this, but they were not overused in the slightest. There was definitely a lot more intense, slow building moments rather than jump scares that were genuinely nerve-wracking. The third act of this movie really amplifies things to 11, especially when the dad comes home, because remember, the dad is deaf and he relies heavily on sign language, so he is, oblivious to the carnage that is going on in his house when he first comes home, and you as a viewer watch from his perspective at certain moments. Ben could be in the distance behind the dad, but the dad isn't aware, but we, the audience, are. And it's moments like that which are it's just so clever, and I thought it was done brilliantly. And also the final showdown scene, which I will not spoil for you, but I thought it was a really great moment to close the movie. I did not feel underwhelmed in the slightest. It was a very, very intense final showdown, final ending, and it definitely pays off before the credits roll. If I was to really give any criticism about this movie, maybe there are a few little slow burn moments maybe in the middle of the film that maybe, I did lose a little bit of concentration, but thankfully those moments don't last too long. It isn't, a massively long horror movie either. I think the runtime was under 90 minutes, which I think was perfect for a movie like this. So all in all, this movie ticked a lot of boxes for me, and honestly, I didn't go into it with big expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised by how good this movie was. Everything from the emotional side to the gnarly, brutal moment. So, I am going to give Primate a very healthy 7.6 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's genuinely memorable, and I think a lot of horror fans are really going to enjoy this one. So then guys, if you've seen Primate, I'd love to know what you thought about this one. Let me know everything in the comments box below, and as usual, make sure you do smash that subscribe button if you love all things horror, not just in horror movies, but in real life as well. Okay then guys, that is a wrap. Thank you all for watching today. I'll see you all in the next one.